Hello, hello, hi, gigpreneur. What's happening? What's going on? Welcome. Happy Monday, and hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. I'm Sean Azimi. That should be enough. No, I'm Sean Azimi. I help folks start a little side business online. Why not? And we use social media to grow it. If you've ever thought about it, if you want to add a little extra income to what you got going on, go to sidegigsean.com, answer a couple questions so I get to know you, reach out to you. We'll have that conversation. Let's see if it's a fit for you. If you ever wanted to start anything, a little side business, this is the time, I'm telling you. Crazy times in the world, and why not get a little extra prepared, right? Today's conversation is an interesting one. And I'm sorry that I'm doing it so late. I am praying that more people watch the replay. I also know that the person who's supposed to see this, who's supposed to hear this message, will. It will reach that person, and it may be you. And I think this is a um, this is a very eye-opening one. It may it may um, Some people may not like it. Okay, some people may not like what I'm about to share, but I just say it like it is, what I think it is, and so you may think it differently. But I think um, it's important to pay attention to a couple of these things. Look, you're willing to, I don't know, drive 20 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, sometimes even more. Um, you're willing to get ready, get into a car, drive for that long, and go somewhere where you are going to be judged. And this is some place where you actually are trying so hard to sell yourself. Jackie, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. I see you on YouTube. So, what does that mean? And then you won't take a 10-step forward just to figure it out yourself. Let me explain what I mean. Score. Uh, so, here's what I mean. Um, these days, most people are having a main job, main source of income, but they're also doing something else on the side. Now, let me give you a little tiny background about me. I have had 38 jobs in 10 different industries. I started working at, I think, 16. Yes, 16, right? And I have been in the mortgage industry for 19 years. And corporate world, the cubicle call center environment, over 20 years. So I think I know a thing or two about jobs. I feel like I'm qualified to talk about that. Now, I've had 38 jobs, but imagine how many interviews I've gone on. Because let's just say the 38, some of these jobs required two, three, one required four interviews. That's a lot of interviews. Not to mention the interviews that I didn't get the job. I mean, it's not like I got all of them. There was a few I didn't get, right? So, and for every interview, correct me if I'm wrong, for every interview, I, cleaned up, wore a suit and tie. I was always that guy and had a fresh resume and, you know, got there about 5 minutes early, sat down, drove sometimes. I never drove. That's not true. I did drive. Well, maybe just two. Oh, and there are interviews that I did that I didn't take the job. So there are interviews that I got the job. There are interviews that I did that I didn't get the job. There are interviews that I did get the job and I refused. I didn't take them. So that's a lot of interviews, you guys. Okay, suited, booted, cleaned up, and drove to it. Most, I'd say, like 90. I don't know, with the exception of two, were all within like 20 minutes drive. Not gonna lie. So I didn't drive for like a lot. For those other two, Anand, how are you? Namaste, namaste, all the way from India. By the way, I am from Southern California. Drop in the comments. Where are you from? My longest drive for an interview is about an hour, 10 minutes. Hour, 10 minutes or something like that. But so drop in the comments. I'm curious. How long did you drive, or did you even fly to another state or country for a job? Have you ever done that? What was the longest drive to a job interview for you? I'm curious to know. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to know. So anyway, showered up, cleaned up, shaved up, dressed up, got in the car, went over there, fresh resume, talked maybe half an hour, sometimes an hour. Sometimes the second interview happened right there. Hey, you got a second? Hold on. I guess somebody else will talk to you. I don't know if you ever had that. Drop a one in the comments if you have. 6 hours. Hey, Keish, how are you? 6 hour drive. Wow, that's a drive. I in the beginning of this live, I mentioned. I said I don't know how long you've been on, but I mentioned. I said this may be a little rough for some people. It may rub some people the wrong way, but it comes with love, and I just always say it like it is. Just to give you, because I do want to have you caught up. Um, I have had 38 jobs in 10 different industries and 19 years in the mortgage industry, over 20 years in the call center corporate world. And I drove 12 hours to Seattle to get a job, and I got it. Good job. Vendetta. I love it. And those of you on YouTube, would be nice to have you subscribe and hit that bell button. Let's go. Flight, MX City. Okay, you flew. Okay, I have flown for training, but not for job interview. I have, yeah, I've never wanted to. In fact, I have been offered pretty decent offers to relocate to another state. And at the time, I refused. I've declined any of those offers. So, what, 12 hours, 6 hours, flew to another state. But by the way, some of you don't see other comments. It's not because I'm crazy. It's because I'm live on multiple platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Feel free to connect with me on multiple platforms. So, anyway, like I said, I've had 38 jobs now, three categories of interviews. Some, well, 38 of them, I got the job. And then there were jobs that I didn't get. And then there were jobs that I refused. I declined. So there's a lot of interviews I've gone through. So my 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 thought is this: like I said, I would get dressed up, I'd clean up, suit and tie every single time. That was my gig. And I would go there, sit there, interview, have a fresh resume. I actually always have three fresh resumes because I learned the hard way. One time I had three interviews in a row and I only had one resume. And I'm like, never going to have that happen again. So it happened a couple more times, and they were so impressed that I had actually other resumes. So anyway, I digress. Three resumes, right? Let's see. Oh, and we do all of that, right? We do an hour, maybe all together, right? To prep, to go, all that stuff, and then in this economy, we it's fair to say that things are more expensive than we expect, and there's less money coming in to pay for the expenses, right? So most people, like I said, either have okay. The reason why I'm itching my nose, some of you are like, "What the?" Um, I'm growing my beard a little longer. I digress. I digress. I'm growing my beard a little longer. I used to have the little something something. I went short, but now it's getting longer. So sometimes it's just anyway. It's one of those things. Gotta get one of these. Well, if you're a guy, it'd be hard to. I digress. Let's get back into this. So the point is this: we do all this, and we want to start a little side business or side hustle or side gig, or maybe even get a second job. We're willing to get ready, get dressed up, go to some place, have a stranger tell you how much you are actually worth because they set the salary or the pay. They tell you we're going to pay you this much. Maybe it's 200,000, but they're setting the salary. Maybe you're more worth 205,000, right? So they set the salary, and you're going to do your darnest to sell them how amazing you are, how valuable you can be to the company. And most of the time, they reject you. So we're willing to go through all that. But when it comes to an opportunity that knocks on our door by chance or design, we're not willing to take 30 minutes to really evaluate, right? Because when you go to a job interview, what happens? The interviewer is evaluating you. You've already evaluated the job, otherwise, you wouldn't be there. I would really think you wouldn't just walk into some random place and say, I want a job. You've already evaluated it. That's why you're there. Now it's their turn. So here, you won't spend 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, hour, 2 hours to really evaluate that little extra side business, that extra side hustle, that extra side gig, that extra anything that's supposed to bring in that extra money. Sheena, what's going on? Right? So I find that interesting. Now, why do I find that interesting? Back in the day, about uh, 10 years ago, okay, 10 years ago, if you were to um, if you were to say, hey, you're going to look at a side business or go for a job interview, I'd go, I'm going to go for a job interview. What the hell is a side business? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to go get another job. Because one, that was extremely more common. And two, I don't know anything else. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, I got to get a job. I got to go sell myself to somebody. I got to have a good resume. I got to be clean. I got to be well spoken. I gotta basically sell myself in all shapes and forms, right? But if you ask me now, I would laugh. Why? Because two, that's not the popular model anymore. The popular model is not, let me go get another job and add 18 other jobs to my job. It's not the model anymore. The model is, how am I going to do things to maximize what I can squeeze in the time that I have? Maybe I could do it online so I don't have a huge overhead. Like, I don't need to have a store or retail space or a lease or equipment or products or 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 utilities, or just keeps going, right? So you're like, maybe I can do something online. And then maybe I could do something online where it would be based on how I schedule it. I'm a big UFC fan. That's Ultimate Fighting Championship, MMA, mixed martial arts. I'm a huge fan. And UFC has a model. Whether you like Dana White or not, he's the man, in my opinion, the president of UFC. But he has one thing that he says, and I love this thing. I just love this thing. He says we have one rule at UFC. If you want to work here, you prioritize your family, your kids. Your son has got a soccer game, you go to the game. Your daughter has a dance, you go to the dance. You prioritize your family first. You just get the job done by the end of the day. We just don't care when you do it. Just get your job done. That's freaking beautiful. Would you not want to work for a company like that? Yeah. If it matches like the brand you want, like let's say, I don't know, they sell cotton balls. I don't know, I just made something up. Right? You're like, I love cotton balls. I love it. Work for a company that makes cotton balls. And they say you get it done during the day, whenever, and they pay you regular. That's a good deal. So if that's the case, you want something online and you want it to be flexible where you can design your hours. You can take your your timesheet, and then you put on every single day the time and the hour you want to start and close. So you want that, right? And yet you'll get dressed, you'll shave, you'll shower, do your hair, makeup, get in the car, get pissed on the way, be late, grab a cup of coffee, Starbucks lane is too long, you get there frustrated, you go into the interview, you got to sell yourself, come back, wait for that phone call or email to get either accepted or rejected, and you won't just like grab yourself a cup of coffee from the kitchen and watch a 30-minute video. And then you can say at the end, I hate this thing. It sucks. It just wasted my 30 minutes of my entire life. Because that's the exact same thing you would say for an interview that went to waste, right? Right. I did say some people may not like this one, but it's the truth. It's very interesting to me that I see that because look, my whole brand that I'm creating is side gig Sean. It's not your main gig. It's your side gig. So it blows my mind how many people say they would rather go for an interview and get a second job than to do something online. It just blows my mind. Really? Hmm. Oh, I mean, just blows my mind. It's a lack of information that we have, lack of knowledge. One of the most dangerous things is you don't know what you don't know. When you don't know what you don't know, that could be very expensive in life. Not just in dollars, but expensive in everything, right? So I want you to be, um, I want you to work on upgrading yourself. I talked about it last night. That was a good live. Go check it out. If you can't find it, um, drop the word live in the comments and I'll tag you to it. But I want you to work on upgrading yourself. I want you to push yourself out of the routine world. The routine world is you go get a job interview. First, you got to get the interview. You have to apply to 200 jobs and then one person calls. Last summer, I applied to 144 jobs. One person called me. And I like to think I have a pretty decent resume. Yeah. So you get that interview, you're willing to go through all that, get dressed, clean up, drive, go there, sit there, wait, get rejected, come back, get the email, phone call, all this stuff. But you won't get out of your comfort zone or the routine life of, hey, let me check something else, something different, something I haven't done before, something that scares most people. Something, oh, hey, I got something. Oh, I get so excited. Keish, thank you. Something that scares most people. Why not? Now, I just want to make sure some of you understand this. Something that scares people, that doesn't mean it's illegal, okay? I'm not promoting anything crappy. Please. Oh, I got roses too. I don't get gifts on TikTok, so I don't really know how it works. Isn't that sad? I've been going live for like a year on TikTok. By the way, I've been going live for 7 years plus every single night. I think I've hit almost 2,750 lives, 2,750 lives in a row. Haven't missed one beat. And there have been some crazy nights. Hey, some of you are brand new to my channel, so I'll give you this. 5 years ago? Yeah, 5 years, no, 6 years ago, 2020. Yeah, 6 years ago, for 4 months, I did my lives in different parking lots because I really didn't have a place of my own. I was staying with somebody else's on the living room. And for 4 months, instead of not doing them, I went to different parking lots and did them. So, um, yeah, there've been some crazy times. I've done some lives. I in the beginning of the year I did a review of all my lives, so that was a decent one. I brought up a couple of different times. I fell asleep twice in my life. It's funny. I forgot one time. This is the worst. One time I like to tell a lot of stories, and one time I completely forgot the story. Completely. I had to sit there and then I said, everybody, I gotta go look it up again. So I had to go look it up and come back. That was the worst. But hey, it is what it is. The hashtag is hashtag show up no matter what. No matter what. No matter what. So but and the same thing goes for other stuff, when you Um, I'll leave you with this. I could talk about this subject forever, but I'll leave you with this. Sometimes we pray for things. This is coming from experience, okay? Because some of you know my story. I mean, I have been here, all kinds of places. But sometimes you pray for things, and then um, it shows up, but it shows up in a completely different format. And then you reject it because you don't recognize it. I've done that. I want you to pay very, very close attention to that. If you don't believe that this guy here has a sense of humor, he's got a sense of humor. He's funny. You ask for things. Who has experienced that? You ask for something and he gives you in a weird way, and then you just chuckle, you laugh, you're like, okay, okay, Lord. So I want you to be very, very, see, our subconscious mind, this is one of those longer lives. Wow. Our subconscious mind is designed to protect us. Okay. Now, what it means, it's not like a bodyguard where he can say, "Oh, that's a bad guy. That's a good guy. That's a bad thought. That's a self-limiting belief. I'm not gonna let that in." It's not like a bouncer who can recognize what's good or bad. So when you put these thoughts in your head that I can't do this, I don't have it in me. I'm not enough. I don't know enough people. This is what they say. This is what he says. This is what my dog barks at. Or this. What happens is that you're telling your subconscious, these are the things I don't want in. You bounce my head against this stuff. Which means all those things, you letting them in. You're telling the bouncer, all these come in, anything against the stuff, you let them out. That's what you're doing. You're training your subconscious. That's what they mean when they say you train your subconscious, what you tell yourself. They're like, anything that doesn't match, I'm not enough, is not welcome. Why? Because you told your subconscious, hey, protect me against that. Because I'm just not enough. So anything against that, just like when somebody tells you you can do it, you're like, well, yeah, right? That's why sometimes we have a very tough time taking a compliment. You tell somebody, hey, this is a nice shirt. Oh, this old thing? Oh, I just got this from a. That's why we can't take compliments. Because we've told our subconscious, listen, they're not allowed. I'm not worthy of compliments. So stop freaking telling yourself you're not enough. Listen, I have hit rock bottom 3 times. The second time I hit rock bottom, I had $1 to my name for 6 weeks. And on the dollar, because it's over here, that's one of the things I always have. Um, I wrote on it, thank you, God. I'm praising. There was a live I did. I actually showed the dollar. I was thanking it, and I put the date on it, and I said, "This is my last dollar." When you hit rock bottom, doesn't mean you're not enough. That's not what that means. You were complete at creation. You got to believe that. I've talked many times about this topic. This is one thing I so heartedly believe in. There's nobody and no package, nothing that is coming to complete you. You're already done. God made you, and you're like, next, next. It's not like, oh, you know what? On his 53rd birthday, on the month of May, I'm going to send him a package that's going to complete him because I forgot to put this in John. How silly does that sound? That sounds silly. That does not sound wise. So when you tell these things to yourself, you're training your subconscious. And when an opportunity comes and you don't recognize it, what happens? You reject it. And sometimes you don't even know why. Like, yeah, well, you know. So we have a lady in our company. I'm a numbers guy. Like I said, mortgages for 19 years. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to leave. This is late. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Um, we have a lady in our company that does no income claims. Those are facts. No income claims. Whatever I share, whenever I share it, even if it's in private or on live, if anybody wants proof, done. I don't talk out of my, I don't. Homie, don't play that. So there's a lady in our company, been with our company for, gosh, I don't know that. I want to say 8 years, but it could be like 10. I don't know. I can find out. But she's been with our company, okay, let's say 10 years. And she does $1 million in personal sales a month. Let me do that translation for you. That means her team, the people that she has, they all together, they do $1 million in product sales. Just one team, her team. $1 million in product sales. Does not include enrollments or nothing else. $1 million every single month. And the commission structure is positioned so that she would get 40% of that. Okay. That's $400,000 a month. A month. Now, most of us don't make that in a year. In a year. A lot of us don't make that in a lifetime. So let me ask you this. When they first asked her, are you open to taking a look at a business that could make you some money? Or are you open to taking a look at a product that would help you with whatever it is you're experiencing, right? What if she said, oh, you know, the prayer that I asked for a white ribbon with specifically this color paper. And since it's not like that, well, nah. How silly is that? How silly would that be for her? How silly would that be for all the people that she has helped with products? This is customer with products. You don't do 1 million every year because you suck. You don't do 1 million a year because your products stink. You don't do 1 million a year because your protein showed up on the news as 90% of proteins on the market suck and their claim is false. You don't do $1 million like that a month if that was the case. You just don't. So, what if instead of spending 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours to really evaluate an opportunity, she would have said, no, I'm going to shower, get dressed, get in my car. I have an interview set up. I'm going to go and I'm going to see if the person, the interviewer, is going to take me or not, and then determine how much they're going to give me. Because there's no way I could see myself doing $1 million a month in personal sales. "99.9% of us don't see ourselves." I work with some gangster women, and I've been in the industry for 19, the mortgage industry for 19 years, and I used to train wolves. I used to train people that were experts in one call close, which means when the prospect called in, they would not get off the phone until there was a sale made. I used to train those guys. And when I say a 60-year-old woman does $1 million in personal sales and makes 400 G's a month, and that's just one bonus, by the way, right? I'm asking you, where would she be today? I'm asking you, would your job ever pay you 400,000 a month? Ever? What about two jobs? What about you have 18 jobs in a month? Would it pay you 400,000 a month? No? 19 jobs? But 130 minutes could change your life. Why? Because you catch a vision, you catch the drift. You go against everybody else. Because what? Everybody else what? Doesn't make 400,000 a month. I mean, why would you ask somebody who makes $5,000 a month, hey bro, how do you make 400,000 a month? I really want to know. Why would you ask that person? How does that person know? You ask what? Somebody who makes 400,000, hey, how'd you get here? How the did you do this? That's what you do. Now, here's the thing. You decide. That's the best part. You decide. You're like, you know what? I'm chill at 5 Gs, 2 Gs, 1 Gs, 8 Gs, 9 Gs, 18, whatever. I'm chill. Because, I don't see myself doing that. Because you know what? The bow. I was supposed to get this white bow. I'll end you with this. 4 years ago, my life changed. I had everything that I could have had. I had depression pretty hard. I was pissed at everyone, including God. He knows it. But what I learned, and I learned this in the tail end of this 4 years, this is what I learned. We do not get restricted in life. We get redirected in life. Redirected. I'm asking you to welcome the redirection. Don't just push it back because the bow is not the color you asked. The decision is at the end is still yours. You still, if you open the box, you look at the box, you're like, oh, this is not what I ordered. You send it back, right? I mean, with Amazon, same thing. You look at an opportunity, you look at it, you're like, you know what? I don't see myself doing this. But what if that one thing that you absolutely did not ever see yourself do would get you to a position where you would do $1 million in sales personally. Imagine this. That's one person contributing to this company $12 million a year. That's just one person. That's got to knock your socks off. That's got to blow your head off. That's got to be like, what the what? Now, there's all kinds of people in between. There's a there's a couple people that these are people that I work with directly that they've been working this thing with this company for 9 months, and they have generated $16 million. These two women. When I say these are gangster networkers, it's gangster. With a company that's been around 70 years. Are you kidding me? So, stability and strength. That's what you look for. Isn't that what the company you look for, you go to a job interview for? They're like, no, I want you to be a very weak company and have no stability, which means I don't want you to be here tomorrow. So it's silly. Strength and stability. That's what you look for. And that's what you look for with any opportunity. So I'm asking you, welcome to redirection, even though if it's not a package what you asked for. The decision at the end is still yours. God will always bless the hands that work. Now, here's the thing. Once you've, again, okay, I'm going to end with this. I really am. I did not think I'm going to talk for an hour. Um, God has blessed your purpose, your journey, what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you're supposed to speak, write a book, help other women. You know, my mentor always says, if you don't know who to help, help the person you used to be. You used to be a single mom, had a husband beat the crap out of you. You got out of there and you became a single mom and you worked your ass off and you became who you are. Yeah, then you go help the abused single women. That's who you help. Why? Because you've gone through that story, right? So you help the person you used to be. So God has blessed your journey. But here's what I want you to pay real good attention. That doesn't mean the journey is paved and it's got flowers on each side and it's just breezy easy. That's not, don't get it twisted. It's blessed, which means you go through it, it's gonna work. That's why it's what you're supposed to be doing. That's why if you're swapping jobs and you're not sure and this, you haven't fallen on that purpose. Now, once you fall on that journey, it ain't easy. Nobody says, oh yeah, well you just said, Walmart and then you just close your eyes and it'll drive. No. It's blessed, which means you're gonna be blessed. And you're gonna bless other people. So I want you to pay attention to your redirection. I want you to just kind of expand your mind to outside of comfort zone and just what's expected, what's black and white, what's normal, and kind of start to stand out a little bit, be bold, and yeah. So I digressed. It's 2:22 in the morning right now in Southern California. What time is it where you are? If you're watching this, come on, let's go. 2:22. So with that, by the way, I saw 11:11. I saw 10:10:10. I saw 11:11. I saw 1:11, and I saw 2:22. I didn't see 12:12:12, but I saw a bunch of numbers there. Anyway, with that, I'm going to stop yapping. Hopefully, you guys get some love, some inspiration, some value I appreciate you guys. Um, I don't get haters as much anymore, but even the haters, I appreciate if you're not rude. If you're rude, then you're blocked. But other than that, you know, I welcome the haters too. Used to get a lot of haters like while I'm talking live. But anyway, so I appreciate you guys. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedback, whatever it is, um, below. I always go back and check out no matter what platform. If you are on YouTube or TikTok, once I close the live, there goes the comments. Everything goes away. So I can't really respond back. So I would recommend you follow me, subscribe to me. You can do that on multiple platforms. In fact, I recommend it. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, LinkedIn, Threads. And I keep it simple for everybody. I go with Side Gig Sean, straight across. So, with that, listen, this may not be for you, but you may know somebody who will get benefit from this. Tag them to it. Let's go. And, and, and if this spoke to your heart, if you don't hate me anymore, right? If this is your first time, hopefully it won't be your last time. But if this spoke to your heart and you truly want to like explore what's on line space and you kind of don't know, you hear all these terminology and you kind of want to know what's up and I maybe spoke into your soul tonight, then go to sidegigshawn.com, answer a couple of questions there so I get to know you, and then I'll reach out. We'll have a conversation and see if it is a fit for you or not. Either way is totally cool. Whether you're serious or curious, it doesn't matter to me. We all still live our lives, you know. So, it's been a long time since I've done a long live. I've been trying to keep it under 15 minutes, actually under 12 minutes. And that's what I've been really trying to do. It's been a long time. I think, yeah, maybe January 1st, maybe yeah, I think that was a long one, but it's been a long time. So anyway, I'm done. I promise. With that, I am signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over